Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What is the most fucked up thing you've seen a friend do? Had a friend who had a 9mm handgun who liked to put a replica bullet into it and pretend he was going to shoot people at his house. He'd even go as far as squeezing the trigger to really scare the fuck out of people. One night he was drunk as hell and decided to pull this trick on a friend of his roommate's who'd never been to the house before. Welp, that night the idiot accidentally put a live round into the chamber and fired. The bullet missed this girl's head by fucking inches. He begged us not to call the police. We called the police. This happened in my hometown at a party. Fucking around with his gun to show off. Guy blew his friend's brains out at a party with about 100 people. He's still in jail 20 years later. Edit. Happened in Northern California for those who are wondering. Had a friend at a party who was fucking around with someone else's gun. For whatever reason there was a live round in the chamber. He killed himself making fake Russian roulette Snapchat vids that night. We called the police. We were working in an old lady's attic and he kicked the shit out of a pipe on purpose, then went and told her it needed to be replaced. I never worked with him again after that. Not a friend. Worked with a total piece of shit and watched him take advantage of an old lady. Eventually saying some drywall needed replaced and just kicking it in. Edit. Guy ended up going back to prison for stealing like $40,000 from the Boy Scouts. Some people are just pieces of shit, man. The messed up part about this story is that he was getting a bunch of work from people at his church. I've been broke and needed money, but I would never do this to get paid a little more. A girl was falling down drunk. Totally out of it. No drink spiked. She had been doing a crazy amount of shots without knowing they were double shots. This one friend of mine insisted on taking her home by himself. Me and 3 of other people in the group insisted more strongly to come along and help her home. The whole way back, he kept trying to assure us that he had things under control and didn't need our help. And it became clearer and clearer he was planning on raping her. We aggressively told him to knock it off. And got her home. First he tried to insist he should stay with her to make sure she's okay, which we vetoed. Then we caught him trying to get her keys out of her purse so he could come back inside. When that happened, we'd had enough and things got rough. We didn't beat him up, but we very forcefully got him out of her student residence building. She was in bad shape. So we found a friend of hers from down the hall who agreed to come over and look after her. We were worried she might throw up in her sleep or something. Later on that night he got caught pounding on her dorm room door by the same friend after he managed to sneak back into the building by following someone else when they came in. The whole friend group split up over staying friends with him, but fuck that guy. She was literally passed out on her feet and totally incoherent. Good call. That's a very mature way to go about that. Holy shit. The amount of steps that man took to try and take advantage of her drunken state is insanely scary. I'm glad you guys got her home safely and I'm glad the friend was there to look out for her. Piece of shit human being. It almost makes me feel like it was premeditated or that he's considered doing this to her before. Deliberately get knocked down by a car. In order to prove that when drunk. And we were very drunk. His bones were flexible. Fortunately, the car had been slowing to turn. There followed a couple of minutes trying to reassure the driver he was okay, whilst calling him an idiot. Meanwhile, he was laying flat on his back, maintaining he'd proved his point. At least he's only an idiot and not plain evil like some of these comments. You got a good friend. Homie. Defective maybe, but good. Throw McDonald's fries and burger as hard as he could at a homeless lady asking for food. I called him a piece of shit and never spoke to him again. I think we had the same friend. A friend I don't talk to anymore gave a homeless man $20 under the condition that he would have to stand there getting berated about how he fucked his own life up. We dragged him away as he was yelling at this dude who was now bawling his eyes out. Watching him in hysterics while picking up a $20 off the ground was one of the most heartbreaking things I've seen. WTF bro, that's just so fucking evil. Lesbian best friend that got kicked out of her religious parents' house, and I let her stay with me. She fucked my then girlfriend. To be fair, this isn't a great girlfriend either. Yay, this one was a twofer. Yikes. My ex, I was 18, had a friend stay over after we all got high and watched a movie. She, my girlfriend, insisted that I sleep on the couch so that they could share the bed. Sure, no problem. I'm going to keep smoking anyway. I don't know how much later it was, but I heard a weird noise and I couldn't tell if it was the TV or not. I muted the TV and waited, and then I heard a muffled moan. I'm thinking, nah, not possible. But then I heard another, much clearer moan. I got up, went to the bedroom, opened the door, and there was my girlfriend, naked, with her thighs wrapped around her friend's head. I stood there for what seemed like an eternity, trying to process what I'm seeing, when her friend, without even lifting her head, tells me to shut the fucking door. I closed the door and bailed from the apartment. As I was backing out of the driveway, the ex came running out, still naked. Closing parenthesis. yelling that her friend agreed to a threesome. I left anyway. I went to a friend's house. Told the story. They called me a bitch and told me to go back there and fuck them both, but it just didn't feel right. Like, I didn't catch her getting railed by some dude, but she was definitely cheating on me. Good. Don't let them try to gaslight you into thinking it's okay because girl or whatever. I found out at that same age my ex kissed. And very likely did more. With another girl, but I let her convince me it wasn't cheating because it wasn't a guy. No, it's still fucking cheating. She knew that too, because she didn't tell me it happened till I found out. Would have been one thing if they both just came to me and talked to me about it beforehand. Why are you sneaking around if it isn't wrong? Is the main thing.